Welcome everybody to another fantastic hockey day happening at the Brewery Astro at SACS High School. Third week in a row that we're bringing you matches from this fantastic venue. Today's fixture, SACS under 14A kicking off against Wynberg under 14A. It's the SACS Wynberg derby. As we all know, it's a long history of this derby, two of the oldest schools in the country. Loving the fact that we're going to go on to the games that are going to be following on from us, the 15s, the 16s, the second teams. And then, of course, we're going to have the first team is going to have at the end, which is going to be fantastic. So we look at the teams lineup on the Astro, just getting themselves ready. Everybody getting themselves into play here. The SACS under 14 lineup, they're going to have some key players to look at here. We got you at the end, and we're going to have Reese Tiernis and Lita Cry bombarding the Wynberg goal as they always do with as many shots as possible. Interesting to see that we got some new players that have been out for a while due to COVID isolations, and that it's fantastic to see some of the boys back on the park playing again after a bit of a break. As we know, the COVID's had a real impact on all the sport we've had in the country. Some key players in the Wynberg team, Ethan Daniels in the midfield, usually running rampant. Zachary Gibbon will be trying to go up front, trying to enter the circle. Jonty Albrecht at the back is also a powerhouse of defending. Has come a long way in his hockey from his junior days. So an interesting tussle and an interesting lineup here. We had these teams play each other at the beginning of the year in a festival of hockey at the CPL. SACS just edging out Wynberg in that fixture, so I'm sure the Wynberg boys are itching to get back at them, especially being at the SACS home ground, which would be a little notch in their cap as well. Like I said, one of the oldest fixtures that we have in the hockey circles. These schools have been playing each other forever. As Wynberg kick it off, Zach Gibbon passing back, and straight away going all the way back into their own 22. A little bit of pressure on them there. Pressure from Lita Cry, making a great steal. This could be a fantastic circle entry right in the early parts of the game. And Lita Cry just lined up the shot there. I think the keeper might have fallen for the dummy. Lita Cry just bashing it into the back of the net very simply. And what a fantastic start 20 seconds into the game. I think Wynberg might have been guilty there of just putting themselves on the back foot and pushing the ball all the way back onto their own 22. They do it again. This could be costly. They need to be getting the ball up the field. All right, this game I'm going to be joined by Brinsley Powell once he gets his life set up in next to me here. Brinsley being an old boy from Wynberg as well, coaching all over the place. His input's going to be valuable into the way this game plays out. Really good tackle there by Finn Wilson at the back. Finn also a powerhouse of the SACS team, just come back from COVID isolation, and so he'll also be itching just to kind of get a bit of stick on ball and a bit of feel for the match. These teams obviously being the under 14 teams for their schools. This is the start of their high school career. A lot of them come from various schools. Both Wynberg and SACS have junior schools, but they still have a big influx from different schools around the Cape and even from the Eastern Cape and up country. So it is the building year where the boys get to learn. And we have a great breakthrough by Zach Gibbon. This is a fantastic chance for Zach Gibbon. And Zach Gibbon just smashed it into the back of the net past Lorenzo Verissimo. A mistake on the 22 there, dispossessed, and Gibbon just running nice and neatly. And the scoreboard's 1-1 at 2 minutes into the game. This is going to be a goal fest if this carries on like this. Great finish there. Didn't hit it quite as clean as he wanted to, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the scoreboard ticks off. Lita Cry trying to go by himself, and I think dispossessed by Seth in the middle there. And another great build-up as Wynberg power themselves through to the circle, across coming in, but just intercepted there by, it looks like Aiden Hughes on the way through, as Reece Tennis comes away with the ball out of the 22 to relieve some pressure, trying to run it out. So already 1-1 in this match. A fantastic start to the game. And SACS again employ the overhead through Joe LaRue. He's put Lita Cryer back into space. He goes on the backhand. And a great save in goals. That was a really fantastic save, especially knowing that Lita Cryer does have one of the biggest backhands in under 14 hockey. And so many people are nervous of that when he does line up with a big backhand. And we'd all be very, very wary when he does pull it off. SACS just outside the Wynberg 22, trying to make the ball with the circle entry, a little bit of fiddling there, but Ethan Daniels coming in with the power tackle and with the breakaway. Can he find anybody up front? Takes it by himself, but just getting dispossessed by Aiden Hughes before he got to the 22. But true to fashion, Ethan keeping the pressure on and putting SACS under pressure the whole way through that. This game is quite open at the moment. Normally in the 14 games, started a bit tentative, but this has started like a house on fire. Everybody flying at full pace from the whistle, which normally means we're going to have some tired legs at the end of this session, but that's the way sport should be played. At this level, running is part of the game, and we all love to see them just running as hard as they can, as much as they can. Wynberg making the ball live and coming away with it, but just being dispossessed by Reece Tennis, and Lita Cryer goes on the run. Lovely through ball, but just nobody at the end of it. And the ball being left to go straight over the baseline. I can hear in the background the loud coaches getting involved. I think Mark Rushby is coaching the Wynberg team in this event, and James Peverley is coaching the SACS team. Also two very experienced coaches trying to get their teams on the road to the under 18 level when they are going to be playing for their first teams one day for their schools down the line. Lots of errors in the midfield at the moment, so nobody coming away cleanly with the ball. Again, just a sign that the boys haven't played as much hockey as they normally would by this time of the year. We normally at this are nearing the end of our season, but of course with the COVID break we had in the middle due to sport, there's been a long break, and so everybody's of course a little bit rusty. SACS just losing possession in the midfield again there. And unfortunately for Wynberg, a back of the stick gets blown for a control error. Joe LaRue for SACS playing a through ball to Reece Tennis, who just misses it. And Tyler Presley just putting the pressure on outside the circle, but can't get the short corner as the umpire blows for a free hit on the edge of the circle and calls them back because he wants it exactly on the right spot, as umpires sometimes do. SACS making the ball live again. A shot coming from Reece Tennis, which was off target, and Lita Cryer trying to help it back on its way, but unfortunately missed it on the way through. Ethan Daniels lining up at the back for Wynberg to get the ball out. He's been put in charge of trying to clear the ball at the back and clear the SACS press, which he does fantastically well there with an overhead, just to get over the SACS press that they can't get the ball off him. But SACS have won the ball back and are now pushing down the right-hand sideline with Finley Wilson. A lovely day, in fact, at the moment. We've just come through one of the biggest rainstorms we've had for the winter. And a little bit of a clear. I believe there's going to be more rain coming later this evening, but at the moment the sun's come out. Not the warmest day in the world, but still having hockey being played is worth it. Wynberg playing on the left-hand touchline. I think that's Zach Gibbon going for a long run, the goal scorer from earlier, with lots of pressure from SACS, but nobody getting the ball. Eventually the ball going over the sideline, and a bit of confusion about whether he played the ball or didn't play the ball there. I think SACS trying to take a quick one there to see if Zach had made a mistake, but he hadn't, as Gibbon goes off again. Trying to make that circle entry, ball gets pushed in. Finley Wilson trying to get rid of it, just can't get it out of the way. This part of the circle of the game, sorry, gets very congested as teams try and enter circles, and everybody's on top of the ball. Just needs somebody to take a bit of pressure off and clear the ball out, as Ethan Daniels keeps probing down the left-hand side with a lot of attention from the white shirts and hoop socks from the SACS boys. A lot of pressure in this corner. Joe LaRue on the ball trying to get out, trying to find a space with all the pressure, and the ball comes out eventually from that gap, but not really to a clean player. And Reece Tennis, great intercept. He'll be looking to line himself up here, I'm sure, for a backhand. As he does, gets the shot off, but it's way off target. And I think Matthew Chadwick was complaining that he should have deflected that, but I think to be fair to Chadwick, that ball was flying. He had very little chance to actually get it off. SACS pushing through here, trying to apply more pressure and see what Jonty Albrecht could do at the back. Oh, good interception by Zach Redfern to Joe LaRue, who's also lined up a backhand and cracks it over the crossbar for the three-pointer, which in hockey counts for nothing, unfortunately. So a ferocious start to the game. We've kind of settled down now, a little bit of end-to-end, and the shots haven't been on target as one would have hoped, as the teams now find their pattern. Short ball to tennis, tries to find Cry on the P-spot. There's going to be a flick. Goes for the rolling flick. He goes very dramatic and unfortunately pulls the ball wide. He lined himself up perfectly on the P-spot and would be unhappy that he tried to be a little bit too dramatic. I heard the SACS coach in the background giving him a stern voice of take it easy and put it in the back of the net nice and slowly. SACS playing back out to the middle. That's Zach Redfern on the ball to the P-spot. Matthew Chadwick trying to cross it. A bit of confusion and hacking inside the circle. Nobody knows where the ball is. Eventually gets cleared out, but straight to Joe LaRue's outside the circle, who slaps it in. And again, Matthew Chadwick's just having the balls just miss his stick. A couple more on the cricket nets, and he'd have his eye in playing through extra cover for 4, and in this case into the goals if he'd been lucky. So like I said, this fixture is one of the oldest ones, and these boys start playing each other now at this level, and we're going to be looking forward to many more games between these boys on the field over the years. Generally in a calendar year we end up playing between SACS and Wynberg at least 3 times, and so you take that over 5 years. A lot of matches they end up playing against each other and getting to know each other, and of course a lot of these boys would end up in provincial teams together and get to know each other when they go on tour together. Lovely through ball to Lita Cry, tries to find Chadwick in the circle, and Tyler Presley just could not get the ball over the line there. Everybody had their sticks in the way. I think I'm trying to spot who that was, had his stick in front, just blocking at all costs. I think it was Zach Alexander who had his stick down and literally stopped the ball from rolling into the net after the through balls from the SACS. SACS smashing through balls into the circle now and finding their people. Matthew Chadwick on the ball, but again Jonty Albrecht making a great little tackle there. And Zach Gibbon coming all the way back from forward to come help defend at the back to make sure the ball gets out the sideline. I think SACS have put the pressure on here, trying to get the ball in the circle. They just haven't got the rewards they would probably want in terms of getting shots on target. There have been deflections, etc., as Joe LaRue works his way into the circle and forces the short corner by pushing the ball onto the Wynberg player's feet. So the first short corner of the game. Normally in these situations we'd have Lita Cry or Reese Tennis or Joe LaRue flicking from the top. They're fortunate enough to have all 3 of them that are flickers. And they don't normally debate about who's going to flick. They normally rotate it and take turns. There might be a bun fight at the beginning of the game about who gets the first one. But let's see what they've got lined up here as the Wynberg boys and the goals get ready for the short corner defense. The injection comes out. Joe LaRue on the flick. Catches the deflection of the first wave. Zach Gibbon, good first wave run in there. Got out very quickly, and as the flick came off, put his stick out and just caught a good deflection which pushed the ball wide and saved the shot on target. Again, SACS pressurizing this goal, trying to find a way, and Lita Cry on the flip skills, trying to get the aerial ball but losing control. And again, another long corner for SACS just outside the pressure zone here. Joe LaRue trying to find his way in, puts himself in the circle but gets tackled by Ethan Daniels just as he's about to cross the line. Puts the pressure on him nicely. Again, like I said, the game gets very congested when you get to the edge of the circle. Lots of sticks being thrown in, flown around, and no real clear outcome where people trying to find the ball clear of the goal. Joe LaRue under big pressure in the midfield, trying to come away, eventually gets the ball out to Reese Tiernes, bit off the mark, and Reese can't get there, even with his pace. Ball out of his reach and out the sideline. Wynberg just trying to get the ball out the back here. SACS putting a nice press on, making sure everybody's in the way. Ethan Daniels with a big slap, and that's a nice power slap that's come out there perfectly all the way through the field. No Wynberg boy to pick it up, but what it does do, it puts SACS all the way back in their own half and relieves a lot of pressure from the Wynberg D, which is the intention of that, and it really worked well. Aiden Hughes trying to get the ball at the back, great interception. As Lita Cry comes over the ball, got some space to look up now, see if he can see anybody making a run. No clear option, so he keeps going himself, enters the circle and then goes for the big crack. But again, Wynberg in the way, blocking the circle entries as much as they can. I think that was Jonty Albrecht that blocked at that time. Reese Tiernis on the backhand, he normally pulls the trigger when he can, yeah, and off he goes with a big shot. Another shot over the crossbar. I think that might have also been deflected. A good save by Wynberg there, with Tiernis trying to force the backhand. One of his strengths that he likes to get away, but blocked again by Wynberg as the score remains 1-1 as we near in the midpoint of the first half. Wynberg on the break, and again the long ball down the field. Like I said, often this tactic's used just to relieve some pressure, to get themselves out of their own half and just get SACS back on the back foot while Wynberg set up the press. And I see Zach Gibbon pushing through, just trying to block this ball coming out the back, and Finn Wilson gets a nice strong ball away. Michael Matunzi on the ball, he's just come on the field, and this boy's got some speed on him as he flips it around and just can't find a SACS stick. Michael Matunzi just coming back from an ankle injury, which is probably, even with the ankle injury, brought him down to most people's normal pace. The boy is really, really quick. One of the quickest runners we've got at this age group. As the hack comes in there and Wynberg win the blow. Ethan Daniels trying to find a space to work it out, throwing it over the top. Unusual to see under 14 boys throw to the top. You don't get many that do. It's still a skill they're learning and developing as they go along. And so when you do see somebody being able to throw the ball over the top, it's a real good progression that they've picked up. In that case, Ethan Daniels getting a nice ball out the back there. Daniels on the ball again, trying to get Wynberg to come away and find some open space. Long through ball to the circle, and the lone striker in the circle just unfortunately missing the ball. He might have done better to just stop that ball, look at the keeper and have a one-on-one. He was definitely unmarked over there. I think SACS defenders might have been caught sleeping. It looks like he was the left wing and therefore snuck around the back when they weren't looking into open space. And SACS were lucky not to be 2-1 down in that situation. Peter Cry on the aerial skills again. Just trying to make it down the field with a bit of pressure from Ethan Daniels. And he's still going. Ethan just can't get the ball off him. Got into the circle. Can he get something from this? Gets the ball to the P spot. And the backhand shot finds the keeper. We're still in front of the goals. Chadwick finds the keeper. And Chadwick finds it over the crossbar. The goal melee there. Everybody right on the keeper's doorstep, but nobody having the composure to just pull it away. And off we go again. And another cracking shot by Reese Tiernis, this time on his forehand. Good thinking there. Joe LaRue with a quick ball to Reese Tiernis on the edge of the circle, unmarked. He took it in nice and calmly and cracked it into the bottom right while everybody was still watching. There might have been a bit of confusion in the Wynberg defense there about the free hits and where it should have been, etc. But Reese Tiernis capitalizing very quickly. Reese Tiernis, of course, quite a big goal scorer. He bagged himself 6 goals last week against Rondebosch. So not somebody who is afraid to pull the trigger when he gets inside the circle, as he showed us over there. And there goes Tiernis again on the cover through, looking for a break. Long ball. And Chadwick must be ruining the chances that he keeps missing on those. Oh, sorry, that wasn't Chadwick. I'm giving him the wrong one. That was Ashton Bright, who just missed the deflection there. Could have earned himself a nice, easy goal if he just got a stick on that. Wynberg coming away with the ball now, trying to get out of their half and just losing control. Again, these kind of scrappy things that the boys, as they settle into the game. In the beginning of the game, everybody's a little bit on edge and nervous, having to play the derby fixture. And so we expect some errors from these guys, but we have Zach Redfern just trying to weave his way around the inside and the outside over there. As Lita Cry takes the ball on the run, he's clear in the circle. He goes on the backhand. A fantastic save by the keeper on his hand, and it's everywhere inside the circle. He eventually comes off a foot. I think Zach Alexander was the unlucky player there who just got his foot in the way from the clearance, and not out of his own fault, just Wynberg trying to get the ball out. Lita Cry entering the circle, tried to go for the simple tap in, but again, a fantastic glove save by the Wynberg keeper to keep the ball out, and then of course the melee afterwards. So here we go for the SACS short corner, ball being slipped behind, a slap coming into the P spot, and Lita Cry going hands and knees, sliding in for the deflection. The slip slap option working this time. They practice this quite a bit. The one behind the back, they get slapped in, but normally the slapper goes for goal. In this case, Joe LaRue just an easy slap across to the face of the goal and gets tapped in by Lita Cry on the late cut to push the scoreboard up to 3-1 now to SACS, as this game gets settled in now. You will see the clock on the screen stop, because on the later games they play 15-minute chuckers, but in the under 14 level we play 25-minute halves. Slightly different format for the younger guys as they learn to move up to the bigger levels in the game. Zach Redfern coming over with the ball, and Michael Mutunzi, even with his pace, couldn't get to that one before the sideline, won the chase. If you look in the background, you'll see a lot of the boys are going to play in the following game, the under 15 boys, and some of the coaches all very much with their hands in their pockets. Zach Gibbon off on the run. Pressure coming in from Finley Wilson just to put him under pressure. He can't go any further. Another good through ball, and Finn Wilson going for the big clearance, just making sure the ball leaves the circle and there's no debate about any short corner or anything like that. Again, Zach Gibbon trying to make an entrance over there, but Zach Redfern, the other Zach on the field, coming away with the ball. 3 Zachs on the field. Zach Alexander also camping at the back. Must have been something in the water when they were born that these boys have all got the name of Zach. Zach Gibbon now trying to get towards the circle, but definitely there was a stick that was put in his way, and it looked like he just tripped on it and gave it the big flying dive. I think the umpire might have just upgraded that to a short corner if it had been later in the game. Zach Gibbon unfortunate there to trip over a stick from one of the SACS boys, putting pressure on him. And I can see there's a debate between the umpires, possibly to say that foul might have been a little bit too strong onto Zach Gibbon, and maybe this should be upgraded to a PC. And there we go, we're correct. The other umpire, who could see a better view of what is happening, just advising the umpire on the side of the field. Umpires do that quite a bit, confer with each other, just making sure that they saw everything correct. And there the final outcome was a PC for Wynberg, which I think is correct. That definitely was a strong tackle that took Zach Gibbon down to ground and took away the opportunity for him to get inside the circle. So Wynberg, with their first PC of the match, we'll be watching Ethan Daniels see if he can get the ball in the back of the net here. The trusty drag flicker from Wynberg. Ball comes out, trapped, gets the flick off, but didn't get any pace on it. As we have a bit of mayhem inside the circle. Wynberg on the P spot, just trying to find the shot off as SACS come away with the ball, trying to find some space. Joe LaRue trying to get rid of his face mask while he comes away and slaps the ball downfield. Often these face masks protect you while you're in the goal, but unfortunately, while you're breathing into them, they do mist up and your vision goes away. And SACS on the counter-attack. This is a big break they have here. A long ball through to Ashton Bright, who can't find the cross, as we have Reece Tiernis unloading on the forehand and can't score either. And comes off the keeper through the crowd, and the umpire adjudicates that to be dangerous off the keeper's pad and awarding a short corner to SACS. So like I said before, these face masks, when you breathe inside them, they do start misting up, and there's a point where your vision goes and you can't see anything through them. And so they might be protecting you, but you can't really run and play with them with no vision other than tripping over your own feet. And you could see Joe LaRue trying to get his off his face as quickly as possible there to see where the ball was so that he could get the ball downfield. And the result of all of that was a clear short corner for SACS, after I'm sure Ashton Bright will be upset that he didn't get that ball across for the deflection into the goal. SACS lining up for the short corner here. We've got Aiden Hughes on the trap. Good trap for Lita Cry. He goes for the German option to Joe LaRue, who misses the target, actually gets straight into the keeper's pad. And the umpire says that when it came off the pad, Wynberg had the ball, and one of the SACS players with a heavy tackle caught his stick, generally called a big hack in hockey. As Wynberg survived that short corner and are coming out the back now with a clearance down the left-hand side. Finn Wilson give the ball some pressure. Michael Matunzi get on the sideline, just a lot of attention. I'm sure anybody who's playing against a fast runner, you want to tackle them early and make sure that you don't let them run around you. So a nice good breakdown tackle that happened there. Jolo looking for the cross, finding the foot but still trying to find the cross, throws the overhead across the field. Very adventurous for this this type of game. As we look up and the long ball through to left wing just can't be controlled by Lita Cryer. I think he's upset with the blow and himself for just not controlling that long through ball, which he would have picked up and been very close to the Wynberg circle. Tyler Presley dropping the ball for Joe LaRue. Joe LaRue trying to line up another entrance, finds Tyler Presley again on the sideline, who's trying to get the ball under control but just got caught under his feet. And when he eventually got control, he tried to pass it at the circle but intercepted by Wynberg and pushed over the baseline. Another through ball to Lita Cry, takes it on the backhand, cracks it into the keeper again. We're having a fantastic defense going on here. SACS just can't find their way through, everything being put up in front of them, which is fantastic to see. The defense that's going on inside the circle to make sure that SACS don't get any chances. Ethan Daniels, a lot of pressure on there, but getting the ball away nice and strongly. And just lacking some control there when the ball came out the back to Wynberg. If they could just hold on to the ball for 1 or 2 more passes, they get themselves deeper in the half, where SACS would have to defend their attacks and put up their attention. Wynberg just getting dispossessed there by Michael Matunzi. Ball out the right to Joe LaRue, who slaps it down the line. I think a bit of a relief of pressure just to make sure that there is some time spent now, just everybody composing themselves, trying to find where they should be on the field or shouldn't be on the field to see what they should be doing. So 3-1 to SACS. A lot of chances being had, but again at this level we expect lots of chances and misses as the boys are learning how to play at this level of hockey. Of course, missing the under 13 year last year due to COVID. Many of these boys didn't get to play full field hockey last year. They play across the width of the field when they're in the junior school. And so again, learning to play across the full field and learning to position yourself and the space you've got to operate with is a very important part of the development of all of these players. Michael Matunzi trying to bash his way through. He's got through 3 people, pops it up for Reese Tiernes. Reese Tiernes with a cracking shot there, and I think that hit the post. Just couldn't find the ball in. Ball in the circle. And we've got another circle entry as Lita Cry takes the ball on the run. And I think that is a free hit on the edge. Joe LaRue and Ethan Daniels having to play together. They actually play indoor together, so even though on the opposite side today, they're very good friends when they play indoor hockey together for the Cape Seals, and so you could see them having a little bit of banter on the side there. Joe LaRue pushing the ball against his feet while Ethan was looking at him dismayed, wondering what's going on. So we come to the end of the first half. 3-1 to SACS. Wynberg have had some good chances as well. They'd be ruined one of the chances there in front of the goal with the one-on-one of the keeper. But on the other side, SACS have also been piling in the pressure. And I think have just been finding the circle a bit congested and just haven't found the easy shot off target as we go along. So we half-time here, 3-1 to SACS. It'll be a good start for them, but I think the second half with a bit of team talks now could lead to any which way this game could flow. And we're looking forward to a cracking second half. Welcome back to the second half of this under 14 fixture between SACS and Wynberg. We've had an end-to-end first half with SACS now leading 3-1, but there have been chances on both sides of the field, and so typically like an under 14 game, a couple of those could have gone in and changed the shape of this match both ways. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the second half pans out after the team talks have come from the coaches. I saw both coaches very animated in the team talks there, trying to get their point across. As we know, coaches can often be. That's Mark Rushby, the Wynberg coach, just checking with the umpires to make sure that they're on his side, as all coaches do. James Pevley's in the background as well, the SACS coach, just making sure that all the SACS boys are pointing the right way on the field, got their sticks and everything sorted out. As we look forward to the start of the second half to see which way this match is going to pan out. Been an interesting half. I think good defense on both sides, stopped more goals going in. Initially the game started with 1-1 after 1 minute. And so we're looking now to see who's going to be starting off. I think SACS have got the ball now, but sometimes this happens in these fixtures. The boy on the ball likes to go for a quick solo run to see how far he can get. It's a little private challenge some of the boys have to see how far they can get down the field. I can see the Wynberg boys know this tactic and they're ready for this. As Lita Cry takes it on the run, straight into Zach Gibbon, who says, "No thank you, you're not getting past me." As Wynberg comes straight back on the counter. Zach Gibbon just losing a bit of touch there, but getting the ball back. He'll be looking to get the ball into the circle, but Reece Tennis get in the way, and the ball bouncing back again to Zach Gibbon. And we're on the P spot with Wynberg with a cracking shot just into a SACS stick. And Finley Wilson eventually clearing that ball. Ball ending up right on the edge of the circle. And I think it was Seth who had a shot there. Couldn't see in the mayhem. He finally got the shot away. As Wynberg are now camping on the edge of the SACS D. Oh no, they haven't. They moved the ball all the way back now to get away from the SACS D. I'm sure the coaching staff won't be happy with them retreating. He'd want them to go forward as Ethan Daniels sets up a great little passing game. And eventually Reece Tennis slaps the ball out the sideline and said he's had enough of this chasing the ball. Little through ball again, forward of the field. And a cross coming into the circle, but just topped the ball, didn't get a clean strike on it. And the ball rolls over the baseline. SACS coming out the back now. Lita Cry, as he always does, takes the ball forward and long through ball. SACS taking the possession. Tyler Presley just couldn't get the ball there. Popped in the air. I think it might have just landed on his chest. And he couldn't get control. Zach Gibbon just taking a bit of control here, trying to find the ball through Lita Cry. Lita with a lot of attention from John T. Albrecht, who obviously wants to stop him from getting through. Ball through to Tiernis, who's got a clean shot on. And he finds the keeper's right foot. Ball rebounds off to Lita Cry. He takes a backhand shot and also finds the keeper magically blocking it in the way. Some really fantastic saves going on at the back there, which have kept SACS out with 2 consecutive shots. And SACS trying to find their way inside the circle again. Joe LaRue trying to push himself in. He's in the circle. Can he find the foot? He's looking for the short corner. Good defending, and we have a stalemate. And he forces the short corner eventually off the foot. Nice patience being shown there, just waiting for the defender to step up off the ball, and then pushing the ball onto the defender's foot to make sure they earn a short corner and they get a free shot from the top of the circle. So SACS not scoring from short corners yet, only had 2 on their side. Trying to get there, sorry, from direct flicks I should say. They got a short corner where they slipped it to the P spot, and Lita Cry had a nice sliding dive where he deflected it in. If I know them, they might just go back for that variation again. Although Reece Tennis does look hungry to get a flick off today with the wind behind him. Stopped Tennis with a flick, but no pace on it. and Wynberg easily defending that off the line on the post. I can see Reece Tennis slapping himself, saying that wasn't good enough. What is going on? Ball on the baseline for Wynberg, making sure they're blocking Zach Gibbon again, coming all the way back to help defend. He's all over the park today, making sure that he gets the yards in to help up front to score goals and at the back to defend. Ethan Daniels with the overhead trying to get it out. Joe LaRue trying to find a way in the circle again. Lots of pressure from Zach Gibbon and Ethan Daniels there, and they stop him from progressing. And of course they come away with a blow from the back of the field. Game a little bit scrappy now with the ball not moving much, everybody carrying the ball, which is not a good thing in hockey because it does end up being very scrappy. We want some pass to come here. Mike Batunzi there running with the ball and getting stuck. Trap going forward. Couldn't get down the field. And again, Zach Gibbon coming away with the ball up front. Lots of attention being paid to him by the SACS tacklers. Of course, he is one of the star players in their team. As eventually he gets the blow. A lot of advantage given to him there when he ran with the ball. The debate from the umpire where the free hit should be taken. It's just on the edge of the circle. Of course, the players can't enter the circle directly. The ball has to first move 5 yards before it can enter the circle. The ball's gone back to Jonty Albrecht, who timidly pushes it forward but catches everybody by surprise. And SACS go on the counter, although a little bit too aggressive. Matthew Chadwick trying to slap, Ashton Bright trying to slap the ball forward, and Tyler Presley is not expecting it, and the ball rolls all the way to the back line for Jonty Albrecht to restart the game at the back. SACS just struggling to get the ball out the back now. When Ethan Daniels moves upfield, they just need some more presence from him because he's got the strong overhead and the good clearance. Tyler Presley just not getting the ball away here. Eventually coming out with it to Lita Cry, who again pulls himself straight back into problems. So like I said, we'll get a bit scrappy on the game now. As Cry eventually enters the circle, but with all the people in his way, he couldn't get a real clear shot off. A very strong tackle there by Tyler Presley, catching the player halfway up the stick, which of course isn't allowed in hockey. Zach Redfern trying to get some skill out the way, a very nippy little player, good hands, and again he sold him a couple of ways, get the ball free, and Lita Cry takes his eye off the ball to allow Ethan Daniels on one of his long runs. Ethan Daniels with a through ball, really good ball. This ball's in the circle, across coming in. We have a chance. Wynberg on the keeper's front door. Everybody trying to get the ball away. They still got possession. Just couldn't find the back of the net there. Had a real clear opportunity. And I think Zach Gibbon found his way all up the field and he just couldn't get it in. And SACS immediately on the turnaround are setting up the counter-attack. Reece Tennis giving it to Joe LaRue. Back to Reece Tennis. He's going to crack this one. Gets a crack off, but well defended there by Wynberg. So end-to-end stuff here. We had a real good opportunity for Wynberg in front of the SACS goalkeeper, and straight away on the counter-attack we back down the field, and SACS had a chance at the other side, which of course they couldn't put away, and they'll be a little bit frustrated not having done that on the other side of the field. Long corner for SACS now as Zach Redfern gets the ball off to Joe LaRue, who again, Jonty Albrecht getting in the way, making sure that SACS just can't get a shot off. Ball popping to Reece Tennis eventually, and he unfortunately hits it with the back of the stick. And you can tell by the way the ball was looping that he just didn't catch that cleanly. And of course, if it's hit the back of your stick, it's illegal, and so you have to turn over the ball to the opposition. Ethan Daniels at the back, just going sideways here to see if he can find some space, but ball being passed to Lita Cry, who's getting to the circle. He's going to take it right up close to the keeper. And that's one of his strengths. He's run right up to the goalkeeper, committed the goalkeeper down low, and he slipped it past very casually and calmly into the back of the net. Probably what some people need to learn at this level. That cracking the ball at 1,000,000 miles an hour doesn't always get you the best results. Sometimes the simple game of just running the ball in and flicking it low gets the better outcome of a goal being scored. So 4-1 to SACS. Lots of opportunity on both sides. SACS would probably feel that they have had a lot of chances that they should have put in and got higher up on the field. But again, Wynberg could have turned this into an interesting game if they'd got their shots on target and scored some goals. As again, we just see a scrappy mess on the edge of the 22 here, with Joe LaRue running into a player to set up the game. Again, Ethan Daniels putting the pressure on, coming away with the ball. Like I said before the match, these two are very good friends. So this will be a ding-dong battle of the two of them taking on each other during the match. Joe LaRue decided to get the ball out and crossing it all the way to the other side of the field, where Matthew Chadwick is on the ball now. With a lot of attention, just can't find the pass. And a great tackle coming in there to get the ball away. Like I said before, Zach Gibbon always coming back to help defend at the back. And there he is, picking up the ball with a 3-run. Unfortunately, passing straight into Aidan Hughes, who got into the real good position there. Aidan Hughes unloading to Joe LaRue. Joe LaRue trying to find, here we go, Lita Cry again. Let's see if he uses the same tactic of running it in. There he is again, trying to, of course, just pushing it past the keeper. I think he's figured this one out now. Tyler Presley putting his stick in front. I'm pretty sure that Lita Cry will be claiming that as his goal, but Tyler just making sure, of course, the ball went into the back of the net like all forwards should do, and putting his name on the scoreboard. 5-1 to SACS. The turnover balls now from Wynberg are just hurting them a little bit more, with SACS finding some space to play through. Ethan Daniels now trying to find his way through, but Reece Tennis blocking him and stopping his progression. Ethan to John T. Albrecht trying to find the cross ball. Just getting a little bit too wide here and getting stuck on the sideline. Wynberg would want to get the ball more towards the middle of the field, where they could have a better chance at entering the circle. I can hear exactly that comment being shouted at to the field by Mark Rushby from the side of the field about them having to play more down the middle and not get stuck too wide on the sideline. Tries to try to press on the ball, passing back to Joe LaRue, find a through ball to Matthew Chadwick. This could be interesting. Chadwick with a one-on-one of the keeper, but holding the ball back, trying to find his partner up front, finds Zach Redfern. Zach Redfern on the pull, just losing possession. He's going to kick himself for that. He had a chance on the field there to have a shot off. And a big tackle coming in there from Reece Tennis, who I'm sure is going to hear some words from the umpire. Just a little bit too hard with the swinging stick, which you can't do, obviously. Wynberg just turning over the free hit there as Tennis comes on the break to Chadwick. Chadwick back to Tennis. Tennis just losing touch of the ball there, takes it on the backhand, and like he always does, just buries the ball in the back of the net with his traditional backhand shot. You don't need to give Reece Tennis any second chance to go on his backhand and crack it in the back of the net. He's a goal scoring machine when it comes to that. Although he would be disappointed with his first touch before that goal, not getting it very cleanly. So SACS now on a roll. There's been a couple of goals in the flurry here, pushing themselves to 6-1. Wynberg just struggling to get the ball out the back. SACS now seem to have found their rhythm of where they want to go in terms of space and easy circle entries that they've now decided to take right up to the keeper and go for the soft, easy push-arounds instead of the big cracking shots from the top of the D that haven't really worked for them in this game. Little double turnover there that Zach Redfern comes away with. Tries to find the through ball, but the ball ends up at Ethan Daniels coming away with the field, and Ethan Daniels doesn't need any excuse to run to the ball. Joe LaRue getting his way again. The two of them really having a good ding-dong battle today. Finney Wilson just been dispossessed, but luckily Aidan Hughes came to his rescue. Zach Gibbon looked like he was going to put another charge on the goal, and I think that might just be the secret of today's game. Every time Zach Gibbon has got the ball, he's had to go through 2 or 3 SACS defenders that have put themselves in front of him, and I'm pretty sure they know how good he is. As Tennis enters the circle, gets the backhand off again, but as we've seen a couple of times from top of the circle, the SACS boys just not getting their backhands on target from the top of the D. When they've been closer in, they seem to be capitalizing more. Wynberg just passing straight to Lita Cry, who's going to take it in, crosses the ball across to Matthew Chadwick, who has a really easy putting from in front of the goal. Lita Cry being very unselfish there and just putting his head up to see if the keeper where he was standing saw Matthew Chadwick wide open on the open of the goals, who tucks it into the open goal and gets his name eventually on the score sheet. I mean, missed a couple early on that he would have rued. Just reward for the work he's been doing up front. Again, Wynberg just being guilty of running the ball out the back and giving it to SACS, who allows them just chance to take the counter. And again, Joe LaRue and Ethan Daniels getting stuck into each other. I'm sure they're going to have a long discussion after this game about the ding-dong battle they had against each other. It's always good to see some of the top players in the teams put each other under pressure and making each other work hard to get results coming out. Wynberg trying to find themselves down the side. Daniels coming away with it, but Zach Redfern making a great tackle there, and then easily unleashing the ball to lead to Cry, and now SACS have found some passes, but just lacking control there. Joe LaRue gets the ball on his foot. He'll be upset with that because he was rooted on the spot, very flat-footed, and he just couldn't get his feet out the way, and the ball striking his foot. Here comes Gibbon again. Like we said before, every time he's got the ball, SACS have put maximum pressure on him. Aiden Hughes this time putting all the pressure on him and coming over the ball. And the umpires were still going there for some infringement that we didn't pick up. It might have just been a clash of the sticks that we heard in the background there and didn't see. Just giving SACS a chance to come away with the ball and slap the ball down the field. SACS employing the tactic of just keeping some of their strikers high so that when Wynberg do make a mistake, the quick turnover ball allows them to find the players high in the field and then mount the counter-attack. Joe LaRue just passing the ball out the side there. Thought Reese Tennis was standing next to him, and when he passed, didn't look, and the ball just easily passing out the sideline. SACS again picking up a ball out the back from Wynberg. Joe LaRue on the edge of the circle. He's going to try and find a short corner. Pulls it back on the Wynberg foot. He's still got it with the advantage. I think the umpire has called it, but he still got it. He's hoping for the short corner, but the umpire decided there was enough advantage there, and so didn't get his shot off. And Wynberg come away with the ball, but quickly dispossessed by Michael Matunzi and Finley Wilson in the middle of the field. And Zach Redfern coming into his own here, trying to find up all the small balls and just get the mini game going so he can pass to the runners that are off the ball. And like I said, that he just arrived at the right spot there to get the ball off to Reese Tiernes, who takes a flying baseball swing at that and misses it. Definitely not cricket season, because I'm sure in cricket season he'd be loving the ball in the air that he could take out the air and shoot. Good through ball to Joe LaRue, loses possession. Just a bit scrappy at this time of the game, where guys are going end to end. It's becoming a bit of a running, hacking game with no clear tackles being made. I think that blow is for SACS, although I might have thought that SACS did put the hard tackle in there. Joe LaRue, the quick free hit, trying to get himself on the backhand. Again, just trying to win the short corner. Ethan Daniels putting maximum pressure on him, like he has all match, to force the error and coming away with the ball. Wynberg do from good defense there. Wynberg crossing the halfway line, tried to find the through ball. Zach Gibbon had just turned away there, so unfortunately he couldn't be found with the ball. And the turnover happens again, and the ball ends up right back on the Wynberg 22, with Ethan Daniels having to avert the attention from Tyler Presley, who's been trying to get the ball off him. So 10 minutes to go in this game. SACS with a comfortable 7-1 lead now. They're happy with where they are, but again, Wynberg having lots of chances. They just need to find their way into the SACS circle and put a one or two of these away to justify the effort they've been putting in today. They just haven't been able to finish off some of the attacks and some of the goalmouth flurries they've had. As Aiden Hughes gets put under maximum pressure there and eventually pushes the ball out the sideline and loses possession to give Wynberg a free hit right inside the SACS 22. A bit of scanning going to see what they can see in front of them. And unfortunately just giving the ball back to SACS. Joe LaRue coming over the ball, trying to scan down the field to see if he can find any runners. Slaps the ball down the middle, and we do have a through ball to Ashton Bright, who was looking for the cross to Matthew Chadwick, who was running far post, and Ashton just catching the end of his stick and not finding the middle of his stick, and Matthew Chadwick running to the far post thinking, oh, that ball should have come to me. Again, Wynberg being put under pressure at the back here. Tiernes putting pressure on Daniels. Also, they play together at indoor, so they also know each other very well. Great tackle there. Jack Parsons coming on the field, making his first touch on the ball that I've seen of note. A little flurry here on the outside. Ball back to Ashton Bright. Pushes it into the keeper. And I think Zach Alexander, I can't see who came over the ball there. Cleared it away as quickly as he could before SACS had a chance to have a shot at goal. Reese Tennis going towards the corner flag, hits the cross. But John T. Albrecht just putting a stick in the way and saying, no, you shall not cross this one. Ashton Bright was waiting right behind him, so he had to make sure that he knocked that ball over the baseline. Zach Redfern to Reese Tennis on the edge of the circle. Tennis on the backhand, and as he has often from the top of the circle today, just not finding the target. Even if he put it on the far post there, maybe somebody would have tapped it in, but he put it near post and missed the goal. Jonty Albrecht, trying to get the ball out the back, and Ashton Bright just touching it, but the ball coming out. And again, SACS is piling on the pressure when Wynberg have the ball at the back, not letting them come out the back cleanly. And then when they do get the turnover ball, is putting them right back on the circle and trying to make a circle entry. Aidan Hughes pushing forward now to Zach Redfern. Just couldn't find a SACS player in the circle. Michael Matunzi to Joe LaRue. Joe LaRue back to Zach Redfern. Redfern just trying to find a clever way through here, and eventually finds it at Tennis, who maybe you've been sleeping a bit, but comes away with it. Lets the backhand cross go again. I think it's about the 5th or 6th time he's had a crack from that side. He seems determined to put it in the net from there at some stage in this game. Not afraid to pull the trigger, and like we always like from forwards and strikers, we want them to be getting the ball goal bound to see what it results in. Redfern crossing the ball to the middle of the circle. Albrecht put in the way, and Gibbon making the run down the field as Wynberg now crossed the halfway line, but Finley Wilson just putting himself in the way, finding the foot and taking the pressure off the attack as soon as he can. So Wynberg making a lot of runs, but from deep in their half, and having to go through many SACS players to get to the other 22. And along the way, SACS are just ensuring that they get something on the ball to break down this Wynberg counter-attack, and just keep frustrating Wynberg. They can't get down the field, and therefore the territory of this game has really been in the Wynberg half, which means SACS have got a much shorter distance to cover to get to the goal, while Wynberg have the whole field to run down every time they come away with it. Bit of confusion about where this free hit should be taken. It does make a difference if it's inside the 22 or outside the 22 in terms of ball entry in the circle. But in this case, John T. Albrecht getting a long ball out across the field. And it gets Ruben on the side, passing the ball through. And just unfortunately for Wynberg, Joe LaRue getting in the way this time, intercepting and cracking the ball down the field to one of his forwards, who's just got to control. Ashton Bright pulls it back on the foot, so he's going to get the free hit, I think, just outside the circle. No, the umpire's blown for a long corner. And from this long corner, Zach Redfern, no, the umpire says not from the right spot. It needs to be in the same line of where the ball went over the baseline. So Zach Redfern resets it, gets the ball off to Aidan Hughes. Looks like a right playing up high. Tennis on the P spot, trying to get the turn, but just getting blocked at all angles wherever he can, unfortunately. And Wynberg come away with the ball there, but they really were under pressure on their P spot to defend that ball from not going in, as Tennis is trying to line up the arc and shoot. And Joe LaRue now has the ball, trying to go forward, throwing the overhead over the top into the circle. Unusual to see people throw the ball in the circle, generally because of the congestion that's there. But SACS trying some adventurous stuff now to see what they can come away with in their goal attack that they're trying to mount. So 7-1, we're ending this game pretty soon. There's about 3.5 minutes to go. SACS will be happy with the scoreline. I'm sure any team that's 7-1 up will enjoy the scoreline. But as we've seen from this game, very scrappy, as these boys have come away from the COVID break and are still trying to find their feet on the field. We expect this kind of scrappy hockey, but the main part for us is the boys are playing again, and that's one of the most important things, because having played the game now after a long break, to get some match fitness and some game time is super important in their development as they move up the age groups in the hockey fraternity. SACS earning a short corner there. Lita Cry just pushing the ball onto the Wynberg foot. I think Jonty Albrecht felt aggrieved there that Lita was backing into him, but the umpire has adjudicated this is going to be a PC as the Wynberg defense gets their masks on and protective gear, quickly discuss what they're going to do. And judging from the body language we have from the SACS side, the chances are pretty good that Lita Cry is going to have a drag flick on this one, or maybe a slip flick to Joe LaRue. Injection comes out. That's not a good trap. The ball goes out to Joe LaRue. He slaps it across the face. Zach Redfern in front of the goal. Zach Redfern off the post. The ball's all over the place in the circle. Cry gets it. He passes it back to Joe LaRue, who goes up for the straight shot. And Joe LaRue just smashes it on the ground, straight through. I think the poor keeper was blindsided there. There were so many people in the circle. When Joe LaRue hit that, he could not actually see where the ball was. And the ball went straight through, hit the backboard. And SACS increased their lead to 8-1 after a goal mouse scramble that could have gone either way, as it happened over there. Goal scorer Joe LaRue in shot as we go ahead. And again, Zach Gibbon just mounting another attack, but like we've said so many times in this game, every time Zach Gibbon runs down the field, really good player as he is, SACS keep putting 2 or 3 players on him to make sure that he doesn't get any joy out of his attacks as they go down the field. Lita Cry on the break now, taking the ball into the circle. He lines up for the backhand, and Ashton Bright was in the perfect place there for the deflection. The ball went right across the face, nice and clean on the bottom, and he just could not get a stick on that. Ashton Bright will be absolutely ruin that chance he had there, because it's a beautiful cross that came in from Lita Cry. Possibly a bit hard, but rather too hard than too soft, as you always say. Ethan Daniels on the run, and that's what he's famous for. Some really good leg pace. He's done the whole yards of the field. SACS not contending with this, and eventually Aiden Yu stepping up to make the important tackle inside the circle. I think Ethan Daniels ran all the way from his own 22 around everybody there, and eventually ended the SACS circle. Very fit boy, Ethan Daniels. He's a long distance, medium distance runner as well. Very quick, very good athletics, and as we know, very good hockey player in the Western Province, both for indoor and outdoor. Aiden Yu's coming over with the ball, trying to track it across. We have a loose ball again, and Wynberg tried to find that elusive circle entry to get a shot off. This time Reese Tennis coming over with the ball. And again, we're in that scrappy position in the last minutes of the game where Wynberg just trying to get some joy out of this game, get a reward for all the effort they put in. But they just can't crack the SACS defense as Joe LaRue steps in and knocks the ball onto a Wynberg foot. And the umpire says, that's it, we've had enough. The game is over, the clock has run down. SACS ending this game 8-1 with some really good goals by Reese Tennis and Lita Cry up front with the soft circle entries. A couple of other players put their hands up as well. Wynberg will be frustrated at not getting more chances in the back of the net, but like we said, SACS put maximum pressure on all the Wynberg big players, so that whenever they got the ball, there was pressure from every angle. Again, a real good game by Zach Gibbon on the Wynberg side, defending, running through. Ethan Daniels charging when he could, and so the game ends 8-1 as we take a break now before the under 15A game, which will start in a short while.